If you drive a lot in the Pacific Northwest, you know this feeling. You're on I-5, maybe right around Wilsonville, Oregon, stuck behind a dump truck,
Oh, I know this sound.
and then you hear it. Thwack.
Yeah.
The horrible sound of a rock hitting your windshield. And you just see this tiny little chip. And, you just know it's already starting to spread.
It's an instant headache, isn't it? Everything else just fades away, and all you can see is that little star on your glass. And the first question is always, okay, how much is this going to cost me?
Is this a huge expense? Or is my insurance actually going to cover this? And that's exactly what we're digging into today. We want to cut through all the jargon and give you really practical, actionable advice, especially if you're a driver in the Wilsonville area.
And the short answer, the good news right up front, is that for most of you, the answer is probably yes. Insurance typically does cover this, but it's a specific part of your policy.
Okay, so that's our roadmap. First, let's unpack exactly what kind of coverage this is, because it's probably not what you think.
Right.
Then, we'll get into the really surprising part about deductibles. And finally, why replacing a windshield can cost anywhere from $200 to, like, $800.
Let's start with the basics. Just understanding the type of coverage that's half the battle right there.
So let's talk about that. Most people think about insurance when they get into, a fender bender.
A collision.
Exactly, collision coverage. But a rock flying up from the road, that's a whole different thing, right?
Completely different. Yeah, if you try to file a windshield claim under your collision coverage, you're going to get nowhere. This falls squarely under your comprehensive coverage.
Comprehensive. I always thought that was for, like, acts of God. A tree falls on your car or there's a flood.
It is, but it's broader than that. Think of comprehensive as coverage for pretty much anything that's non-collision and basically outside of your control as a driver.
So things that just sort of happen to your car.
Exactly. The sources are pretty clear on this. Comprehensive covers hail damage, theft, vandalism, fire, and the big one for us, damage from road debris.
That rock from the truck.
That is the one, a rock flying up from the road ahead of you. That's a classic comprehensive claim.
Okay, that makes sense. It's really important to know that distinction, I think, just so you know where to even start the process.
And it's key because these claims are handled differently. It's not about driver error. It's just bad luck.
And that leads perfectly into the part everyone really cares about, which is the money.
The deductible.
Right. When you hear insurance claim, you immediately think, okay, I've got to pay my $500 deductible before they pay a dime.
Or $1,000 for some policies.
But you said there's something surprising here for glass claims.
This is the big aha moment for so many people. Many insurance companies, especially in a competitive state like Oregon, will actually waive the deductible entirely for windshield work.
Wait, really? So you could have a $500 deductible on your comprehensive plan, but for a new windshield, you pay nothing.
Potentially, yes. Zero out of pocket.
Okay, why would they do that? I mean, insurance companies aren't exactly known for being generous. What's the logic there?
It's actually really smart on their part. It's pure loss prevention.
Loss prevention.
Yeah. They've run the numbers. They know that if they make it expensive for you to fix a small chip, you're just going to put it off.
Well, of course. Who wants to pay $500 for a tiny little chip? You'll just live with it.
Exactly. But that tiny chip becomes a crack. And that crack spreads across the whole windshield. And once that happens, it's not just an annoyance anymore. It's a serious safety issue.
How is it a safety issue? I mean, beyond just being hard to see through.
Well, the windshield is actually a structural part of your car. It helps support the roof in a rollover.
I had no idea.
And even more importantly, it's critical for your airbags. The passenger side airbag, for example, actually pushes off the windshield when it deploys to cushion the passenger correctly. If the glass is compromised, the airbag might not work right.
Wow. So a tiny chip they could have repaired for, say, $100, if you ignore it, turns into an $800 replacement. And a huge potential safety liability for the insurer if you get in an accident.
Precisely. So they are very motivated to make it as easy and cheap as possible for you to fix that damage now. They save themselves a ton of money down the road by making it free for you today.
That totally reframes it. It's like a preventative maintenance program.
That's a perfect way to put it.
So let's talk about Oregon specifically. Yeah. Does the state force insurers to do this? Is this a law?
And this is where you, as the listener, have to do a little homework. Oregon is not one of the states that mandates zero deductible glass coverage.
Oh, okay. So it's not guaranteed.
No. Unlike a few other states, there's no law in Oregon forcing them to offer it, so it's a choice that the insurance companies are making.
Probably to compete with each other, right?
Exactly right. Many carriers will offer a separate glass rider or endorsement on your policy. Sometimes it costs just a few extra dollars a month, maybe 5 or 10 bucks.
And that small fee could be the difference between paying your full $500 deductible or getting a free replacement.
That's the key takeaway.
So everyone listening in the Wilsonville area needs to pull out their policy and look for that specific wording, right? A glass rider.
Absolutely. Look for a line that says glass deductible or something similar. You might have a big comprehensive deductible, but a $0 deductible specifically for glass. It's a few minutes of checking that could save you hundreds.
Speaking of hundreds, let's talk about what happens if you don't have that rider, or if you just decide to pay out of pocket. What's the cost for a new windshield in Wilsonville?
The data shows a pretty big range. You're generally looking at somewhere between, say, $200 and $800.
That is a massive difference. I mean, $200 sounds reasonable for a basic sedan, but what drives that price all the way up to $800? It can't just be the piece of glass itself.
You're right, it's not. You've hit on the single biggest factor, and it's all about how much technology has changed our cars. That high end of the price range is almost always for newer vehicles, luxury cars, or trucks with advanced safety systems.
You mean ADAs? The Advanced Driver Assistance Systems?
That's the one. The thing is, a windshield isn't just a passive sheet of glass anymore. It's the mounting point for a lot of your car's sensors and cameras.
So like cameras for lane keep assist or the sensors for adaptive cruise control?
All of that. The rain sensors, the forward collision warning systems. A lot of that hardware is mounted directly on the windshield.
So when you replace the glass?
You move the sensors, even if it's just by a fraction of a millimeter, that tiny shift can throw the whole system off.
Which sounds like a big problem if that system is supposed to, stop your car from hitting something.
Yeah. It's a huge problem. Think about it. If the camera that's supposed to be reading the lane lines is off by just half a degree at 60 miles an hour, your car's computer might think you're about to drive off the road.
And that explains the $800 bill. It's not the glass, it's the calibration.
It is entirely the calibration. That higher cost covers recalibrating all those safety systems. And it's not something you can do with a wrench. It requires specialized tools, targets set up in the shop, sometimes even a specific test drive protocol.
So a huge chunk of that bill is basically for labor and diagnostics to make sure your car's brain is working correctly after the surgery.
That's a great analogy, and it really shows why that insurance coverage, that zero deductible rider, is so valuable on a modern car.
Okay, so we've covered the why. Let's make this super practical for someone listening. They just got that rock chip. What's the easiest way to get it fixed without a ton of hassle?
The good news is the process is usually designed to be really simple for you. You don't have to spend all day on the phone with your insurance company.
I think we can all appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. So most reputable auto glass shops, especially in the Wilsonville area, will handle pretty much the entire insurance claim for you.
They act as the middleman.
Basically, yeah. You give them your policy number, and the first thing they'll do is call your insurer to verify your coverage.
So they find out for you if you have that $0 deductible before they even start the work.
Exactly. They manage your expectations right away. Then they handle all the paperwork. They bill the insurance company directly. All you really have to do is sign off on it.
That makes the process so much less painful. It's a real shortcut.
It is. It lets you focus on just getting your car fixed and safe while they handle the back-end stuff.
Perfect. So let's wrap this up with the key takeaways for our drivers around Wilsonville. First, that rock chip is covered under comprehensive insurance, not collision.
Second, pull out your policy today and check for a deductible waiver or a glass rider. It might be a cheap add-on that saves you a lot of money.
And third, remember that the cost can be high up to $800, and that's because of the calibration required for modern safety systems. So given all that complexity, the calibration, and the safety systems, what's the one final thought we should leave everyone with?
I think the most important thing to remember is this. A windshield is now a high-tech safety component. The alignment of those cameras is measured in fractions of a millimeter.
So you can't just go with the cheapest option.
You absolutely can't. You have to prioritize a professional, certified replacement that includes that calibration report. Shopping purely on price, if it means skipping that step, isn't saving you money.
Because you're compromising the very systems designed to keep you safe.
You're compromising the safety integrity of your vehicle. The true cost isn't what you pay for the glass. It's the risk you take if those systems fail when you need them most.
Wow. Safety and certification over sticker price. That's a powerful note to end on. Thanks for breaking all this down.
My pleasure.